In a dim garage before sunrise, he is not preparing for an adventure. He is setting up a system. He lays each piece of gear on the concrete in clean rows so that under stress, decisions reduce to placement rather than memory. Water, light, first aid, and fire starting remain immediately accessible. Everything else is packed to stay stable inside the saddlebags. He checks zippers and seams, tests batteries, confirms backups, and seals anything sensitive in dry bags. The point is consistent: reduce friction, reduce surprises, and reduce reaction time. He applies the same approach to the motorcycle. Cleaning the windscreen and mirrors is part visibility check and part inspection. Dirt can hide small cracks, glare increases eye strain, and fatigue builds faster when vision is compromised. He runs his hands over the tires, checks sidewalls, pressure, and tread, then moves to the chain. Brush, lubricate, wipe excess, and confirm tension by feel. Far from help, mechanical issues are not an inconvenience. They become a safety problem. He treats the load as part of the machine. Buckles are tugged, straps are rethreaded, and weight is balanced left to right. Cargo that shifts may not show itself on a straight road, but it can matter in a corner on damp pavement when the body is already tired. Once he leaves the city, the routine stays conservative. He paces the ride, drinks water regularly, takes short breaks, and keeps speed within a margin that accounts for error. Solo travel carries a common mistake. Assuming time can be recovered later, fatigue rarely arrives as a clear signal. It accumulates. In mountain shade, with gravel patches and wet leaves in the curves, risk is managed by restraint rather than confidence. At the trailhead, he parks with exit in mind. He angles the bike so he can leave quickly if needed, because prevention includes keeping options open. Before entering the trees, he checks wind, sky, and the immediate feel of the area. Camp safety begins with site selection. He looks for level ground with drainage, clear sight lines, and moving water nearby, but not close enough to invite flooding or traffic. He scans above for dead limbs that can fall at night. The hazards do not require drama. Weather and simple fatigue are enough. When the tarp goes up, it follows basic structure rather than improvisation. He sets a ridgeline, chooses angles that match the wind, and adjusts tension until the fabric stays quiet. Noise is not just a nuisance. It disrupts sleep and adds mental load over time. He pushes on the setup, retightens, and stops only when it holds without flapping. Inside, he assigns fixed zones: sleep in one place, tools in another. Light and water placed the same way every time. That consistency matters when visibility drops and small movements become higher risk. Water becomes routine. He filters slowly, keeps threads clean, seals caps tightly, and places a bottle where his hand can find it without searching. Clear water is not assumed safe, and speed is not treated as an advantage. Food and scent management then become the main constraint of the week. He separates sleeping and cooking areas, seals items in odor-resistant bags, scrubs cookware until clean, and removes scraps. In bear country, the goal is to avoid becoming a reward. He hangs food high, away from the trunk and the ground, checks knots, and resets the hang if it drifts too close. The work is repetitive by design. Awareness stays practical rather than confrontational. When a branch cracks deeper in the woods or brush moves across a creek, he does not rush to identify it. He makes firm noise, keeps his posture steady, backs away slowly, maintains distance, and keeps a clear corridor for movement. The objective is not to challenge an animal, but to avoid creating an incident. At night, he uses simple boundary cues, small bells on cord and reflective strips low to the ground, to stay oriented and get early warning. Many injuries in the backcountry come from stumbling, panic, or moving without visibility. When weather shifts, he responds to the full chain of effects rather than the rain itself. He deepens a shallow runoff channel, adds leaf splash guards,
Okay.
covers the
Keep
wood
it
pile,
together,
and
seal
keeps
it up,
gear
back
off
away slowly,
damp soil.
light on, make some
Afterward, he
noise,
inspects
bells
and fixes
jingling.
small problems before they compound. A tarp abrasion, taped and reinforced, a glove seam repaired, a scrape cleaned and rewrapped. In the backcountry, minor issues become dangerous when they are allowed to persist. Even on calm days, he manages energy with the same discipline. He scouts ridge lines only as far as he can return without fatigue, memorizes landmarks, watches cloud movement, and turns back early. Energy budgeting is safety planning. When the ground starts creeping wet under the tarp edge, he makes the decision that pride often delays and moves camp a few meters uphill. The choice is about margin, not toughness. On teardown day, he does not relax the process. He starts with essentials, water, hygiene, laces secured, then packs in an order that avoids leaving him exposed mid-task. He extinguishes the fire methodically, stirs and wets it, checks for remaining heat, and only then dismantles the ring. He restores stones, brushes scuffs, scatters leaf litter, and collects every trace, including tape fragments and twist ties. Leaving no trace is ethics, but it is also risk control. The less is left behind, the less the area is conditioned to expect people. Back at the gravel turnout, he checks the surroundings before loading. He balances weight into the saddlebags and cinches straps until the load behaves like part of the bike. He inspects tires, clears moisture from control surfaces, and pauses before rolling out. Descents carry their own risk, and he does not trade a week of discipline for one rushed decision. On the road, he scans for gravel in corners and damp patches in shade, drinks water, and takes breaks before fatigue starts shaping choices. When the garage door closes again, the routine transitions into maintenance. He unpacks in rows as he did at the start, separates what needs repair, cleans mud from boots and gloves, dries the tarp, wipes the visor, and returns each item to readiness. The underlying lesson is procedural rather than personal. Solo safety is built through method, managing scent, accounting for weather, budgeting energy, keeping exits open, and avoiding unnecessary exposure. The goal is not confrontation. It is moving through without creating problems and returning intact.
All right, I see you there. Take your time, easy now. Just passing through, nothing to worry about, just going on my way.
You're on Mercedes and